All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about exercises that you can do for strong, pain-free shoulders, and also a little bit about shoulder mechanics and alignment, because if you don't have that, it's really hard to do the exercises and get the benefit from them. If we haven't met, my name is Naab-Levy of Indigo Kinetics. I'm a Pilates teacher, a melt instructor, and a massage therapist, and I just show people how to do pain-free fitness or how to move better without pain. So let's get into it. So quick note on what is your shoulder supposed to be doing when you move it? Typing, texting, pull-ups, push-ups, all kind of the same mechanics, but how to train for good shoulder alignment. So the main thing that a lot of us are missing is this thing called upward rotation. And I'm going to show you a video of it, but basically we tend to have with our shoulders sort of sitting in this downward depressed and slightly forward state because we don't hang from trees. We don't bring our arms overhead a lot. So this is the motion that a lot of people are missing that causes that shrugging, which I'll show you in a moment. So this is upward rotation. When your arm goes overhead, your shoulder blade should kind of go out and up. And what that does is it creates space in the joint so things don't pinch or grind or hurt. But what happens for a lot of us is we are weak. We lack the strength to do upward rotation or the mobility to. And so we do this funny thing called elevation, where our shoulder kind of drops forward and up and it kind of shrugs in our ear. And so when you're moving your arm overhead, you want to think for every 2 degrees that your arm moves, you should have 1 degree of upward rotation. But the basic idea is let that shoulder blade float out and away when your arm moves up. Don't try to squeeze it down, and just be mindful that it's not ending up in your ear. So let's get into it from here. So some exercises that you can do. The first place that I start when I kind of see someone who has that forward shoulder position is internal rotation, which if you're thinking that's counterintuitive, I don't blame you. You're like, my shoulders already feel too forward. Why would I do internal rotation? The reason why is when your shoulders feel forward or you see them kind of squeeze to like forward and together during things like push-ups, that's actually a lack of rotator cuff. Rotator cuff it's a group of 4 muscles that actually hold your shoulder in the joint. And one of the fastest ways to improve that is to actually do internal rotation where you really are mindful of having a good shoulder position. So this is a really simple band exercise you can do. I would use a light to medium band. And I set the shoulder by rolling it up and back. And then all you're gonna do is spin your arm in and out, holding this area here really still. So you're not shortening in your collarbone, you're just spinning your arm in the joint. You shouldn't feel any tension in the front. It's kind of deep in your shoulder and there shouldn't be any neck work. What you're avoiding is this thing here with the whole shoulder and the shoulder blade moving forward and back. So just an easy little spin, very quiet, gentle motion, holding kind of openness in the front of your chest and your shoulder blade reasonably still. Next thing I would do for rotator cuff, because again, it doesn't just do internal rotation, it does all sorts of motions, is this move called screw in the light bulb, which I don't know if that's its real name, but that's what I call it. That's what I think of when I do it. And it's just waking up your rotator cuff in different angles. And you'll notice all it is just literally turning your arms in and out through the motion. And this is a great place to kind of practice that upward rotation that I just talked about. And I tend to go for about 6 sets of these. In the last exercise, I do 12. Or so. But this in and out motion, after about 6, my arms actually get tired because most of us are not terribly strong in our rotator cuff. But doing that just kind of turns on your rotator cuff through different angles. So it helps stabilize your shoulder when you load it in daily life or in exercise. Next piece of that shoulder puzzle would be your serratus anterior. That is a muscle here. It holds your shoulder blade against your rib wall, so you can hold this type of position without sinking between your shoulder blades. And it also, again, does upward rotation. Funny that. So it's a really good muscle to train for. These exercises are something you could do kind of as a pre-warm-up if you lift, or again, just something that you can do for better posture and alignment. But I like to do them, kind of incorporate them in any workout that I'm doing because I've had a lot of shoulder issues and neck pain in my past, though not anymore. So this move is called sternum drops. You want to set your neck by lifting your chin and then tucking it down, finding space in your neck. So this is all one long line. And you're just going to let your chest drop down between your shoulder blades and then push through these muscles here to lift your whole body back up. You should be in a fairly straight line. I sunk a little here. That shouldn't have happened. You're just seeing my own little inefficiencies or weaknesses, but this should all be one line here. What you're trying not to do is this funny cat-cow thing with rounding and arching in the back. You want your back to be one flat, straight line. So yeah, that's one way to practice stabilizing through your shoulders with largely serratus anterior. Next thing you can do here is train for upward rotation again, but with a band. So this targets serratus anterior pretty specifically. I've double knotted a medium to light band, stuck it around my foot. I'm going to hold my whole body here still, and I'm just going to let my arm move overhead. And as my arm moves overhead, I'll feel a subtle, again, upward rotation here of my shoulder blade. And I should feel a little bit of activity here, kind of right by the armpit, but no pinching in the front of the chest. So you want to think width through your collarbone. The arm doesn't come in too close by your head. And then what you're trying to avoid, I think it's on this next one, you'll see me do it, is this big arching in the back and dropping of the head, right? So that's too far. You want to stop the band or the arm at about your eyebrow. You're also trying to keep your elbows straight. So just no displacement in this upper body, just the arm and the shoulder blade get to move through the motion. Final piece of this puzzle, a little bit of work with mid-trap. Mid-trap is really important. It's kind of abandoned or forgotten, but it's what holds or helps hold an appropriate distance between your shoulder blades. And again, it helps upward rotation. So this is the thing that I would do. I hear a lot of people say, squeeze your shoulder blade together. This is a little more efficient. You're not really trying to squeeze your shoulder blades back. You're just trying to get them to sit more neutrally on your ribs. And this is one way to strengthen those muscles in the backside of your body. So I've got a pillow underneath my head, and all I'm doing is gently and slowly lifting the elbows up and putting them down. And I'll feel a slight drawing together or retraction of my shoulder blades through here, but I'm not squeezing, right? I'm just activating, and that's what creates the retraction. So here's what you don't want to do. I'll show a couple bad ones. I'm not squeezing my shoulder blades together. Notice that really shortens my neck and draws my arms up into my ears. So again, just really subtle lifts. So yeah, that's kind of it. If you found this helpful, I would so appreciate it if you would share this video either via email or social media with any of your friends or people who you think would also find it beneficial. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me either on social media or my blog, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.